Yo, yo, yo. We are back. Back in business. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Uh, uh, uh. Uh, 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 uh. It's looking like a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, 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 oh. Let's go. Vlog, God the Heavenly Father, Julie. How's it going? How is it going? Rich Logic. I told you Michigan dreading my ride home. Gonna be a fun, slow drive. Yeah, it's icy, snowy, terrible. My internet went out twice earlier. Where did your sign go? In a different place. It shall return, though. I'm wearing pants tonight. Is that a bad sign? Edward Morgan wears pants and the stock drops. Damn it. Kane. Things are going good. Lost to Tesla in like about the last week, but it's all good. AMC's starting to work out a little bit. So we're doing good. Tomorrow could be a pretty substantial green day, it looks like. If I were to throw a bit of a guesstimate out there, it looks really good. Futures are tearing it up. I mean, this market is so irrational and very quick to get over things. As long as nothing escalates tonight, then the markets don't even care what happened today. What happened today? It was so promising in the AM. Yeah, there was really the Fed made a lot of very interesting comments, and that didn't seem to move the markets as much when he said them, but when he was done talking, it kind of messed everything up. Fed Bullard. Like, especially fintechs. Oh, man. If you're in Affirm, Sofi, Square, and PayPal like I am, it was a bad day today because of this. Fed Bullard says inflation could get out of control, so action is needed now. Key points. St. Louis Federal Reserve President James Bullard cautioned that without action on interest rates, inflation could become an even more serious problem. We're at more risk now than we've seen in a generation that this could get out of control, he said during a panel talk at Columbia University. Bullard has called for a full percentage point in rate hikes by July. And I think Bullard is actually the only one with a little bit of common sense right now. Believe that or not, you know. Like, Bullard used to be a big dove. He used to be one of the guys on the Federal Reserve back in 2014, 2015 when they started to raise rates. If we pull up the federal funds rate, yeah, back here when they were talking about raising rates and finally started 2014, 2015, when they started to raise rates slowly, he was somebody that said that they could wait, that there was no need to be super aggressive because inflation was really low. But now he sees it as a big problem, and I mean, thank God he's on the Fed. I mean, he's a voting member of the Fed, because, man, nobody has a clue on the Fed right now. I hate how it's so hard to pull up. Dude, what the hell? Yeah, like, it touched 2.5% right here in 2018, but they were having trouble even remaining at 2% or around 2%. But now he's saying that we might have to go to neutral or even above neutral to get inflation under control. And I mean, if being at neutral would be like inflation minus the federal funds rate. When that's at zero, it's neutral. And historically, you have to push it higher, and that's what he was talking about is like his fear. And that's exactly what I've been saying. If the economy slows down too, man, but that's what killed the markets today. Really, certain sectors got hit really hard. Square down 5%, another 0.5% after hours. PayPal down 5%. Sofi almost 7%. Just terrible. And a firm can't catch a break, down 12.23%. Crazy. Like, what is like, the stock used to be $176, now it's $37. I mean, it was a little overvalued then, but 37? Oh man. They're killing me. But then also the Russia stuff, and that's, I mean, I don't even know how to feel about that anymore. Yeah, futures turn green on news that Russia's Lavrov will meet with Blinken next week. Yeah, I seen that. They're like back and forth. I mean, I don't think Russia really has a plan of invading Ukraine, to be honest. I think it's all just a show, really, to gain something. ISPO and ANGH were booming. Yeah, I believe I didn't even look at the Discord actually, but I believe, wasn't it you or somebody else that called that out like 2 weeks ago? This one, ANGH, and I seen it today. It was wild. 161%. This thing was at like $10. ISPO. And then there was a couple other more oddball names too that went nuts. Yeah, 648%. What? What is that? 12.5 million shares for volume, up 648%. Like, you can't even hardly see the other candles here. There's like nothing there. What is this company anyways? Jeez. You get a decent pop in the morning, but might sell off in the afternoon ahead of your 3-day weekend. Yeah, that is very possible too. Because that long weekend too, I mean, there's probably still going to be some fear in the markets, certainly. And right now, it's sell the rip. And it's not even like buy the dip. It's strictly sell the rip. That's it. especially if your company gets beat on earnings too. Yeah, it just keeps selling. Roku did terrible. 22%. Oh my god. I was going to play Roku. Damn it. I didn't expect a 22% drop. What were the puts at? What's the stock? Like 110? Oh man. Roku was pricing in a lot, though. They were expense. Very expense. And then Redfin also got destroyed. Last I checked. A lot of bad drops in after hours earnings. 16.9%. ANGH is Spotify of India. Any reason why they're not selling calls on ANGH? Do they have calls, like options yet? Yeah, see, they don't have any. They probably just listed. That's probably why. Once you list, it takes a little while to start doing options. Because I think I looked at that intraday when it was only up like 250%. It was just getting halted over and over again. I'm like, that might be worth throwing something out there, but it didn't have options. Yeah, this thing must have just listed. I can't even... What? No? This thing's been listed. Do they... that can't be true. $0 of revenue? When will we know AMC's earnings? I believe, March 9th. Close. I swung DraftKings calls for earnings tomorrow morning. Yeah, I have 200 shares, so I look at that like two options. So I didn't even play it because I already have so much exposure, and DraftKings is just a big underperformer so far. Well, they have been getting a lot of upgrades and stuff. Actually, let's see that. I doubt AMC has had an upgrade. But let's see. I'm sure we would have heard all about it. Sure, everybody would have been talking about it. These analysts are shady, too. So shady. Yeah, no. You haven't seen any new downgrades, upgrades, or any ratings since November 4th, 2021. But I was looking at this not too long ago, and right here it says B. Riley FBR neutral to buy. So it got upgraded, and it was April 5th, 2021, and then straight to downgrade May 26th, 2021. Hardly a month later. They're like, buy. Yeah, not now sell. 7 years before Super Bowl weekend. Tyler, as you may recall, I lost money January 27th on Tesla, but Monday had an unbelievable day with the Gaily Mover ISPO using margin. I made over 8,000. Oh man. Just, I mean, when you hit a trade like that, it's good to not a recommendation. Obviously, you're free to do what you want, but say you put 3,000 in, you made 8,000. It's always good to do the next trade with like 2,000 or something, so you don't risk the whole thing. Isn't the market closed on Monday, President's Day? Yeah, yeah. In one of in the videos, I completely forgot about that. I didn't even know until like 2 days ago. I'm like, really? Like I know it's closed on federal holidays, but guess I didn't think about it. Didn't think about young Biden. It's young Biden day. Young Biden. Every stock 500% itself. Shocker alert. Yeah, that was last year. This year you'll get that from time to time, but it's not going to be like it usually has been. Affirm, upgrade, upgrade, downgrade. The one I can't get over and makes me want to go all in on margin on, like just go all in, PayPal. I don't understand why this is happening. It makes no sense. And then you're going to downgrade the stock February 3rd after it drops like that? Like analysts are don't make any sense. This thing is at or under its pre-pandemic levels where its revenue has grown like 35%. Very risky though, but man, what a while. Yeah. Yeah, I bet your heart's all beating. Yeah. Ooh, 25 tomorrow. Yeah, that's where I think the highest it could go. It looks really good for a rally tomorrow. I mean, on just the technical aspect of it, and when you include everything else, as long as we don't get any crazy headlines, I think we're just set to rally, right? We're really in this range, having a pretty tough time breaking out above 21. Even 20 today for a brief period. So if we can get that upward momentum, we had come down, tested 1850, bounced right off of that. That's always a good sign. We bounced at 1847 was the low today. Touched it briefly. You guys can see this big ass wick came straight back up. Right really back to this zone, right? Because the high and low points of candles, that's the high for the day and that's the low for the day. So a big range up and down, but you really stayed, in this kind of medium ground. Like you went up a lot, you didn't stay up. You went down a lot, you didn't stay down. You just stayed in this middle range, and then after hours looked pretty good. Close Monday. It is President's Day, not Markets Day. Yeah, weird. How many shares of AMC do you have? I think I have close to like 2,000 now across different portfolios. Public, Weeble. I got some in the good old hood. Wherever I had money to buy some, to be honest. Not financial advice, but it was Blad's money. There we go. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. I didn't know what that was for the longest time. See the FBI raided short sellers? I seen an article. No, I didn't. Holidays and markets, post office, and banks are closed. Yeah. PayPal isn't innovation, it's dead. That's the funny thing about it is innovation is dead right now. And things with solid business models, that have a lot of free cash flow, a lot of profits, and that are growing the business at a fast rate, like PayPal, those are things that are doing good. It's this earnings effect. If a company has bad earnings, like I have not seen a single company that has dropped 20%, 15 to 20% on earnings and rebounded back to where it was at within the next week or two. Look at Facebook. Look at Affirm. It's going to be Roku now. What are some other stocks? Any stock that fell a lot on earnings continue to fall. PayPal. And those are just ones that I follow more. So there's this thing that's going on. If a company has bad earnings, just short it after earnings. You don't even have to play the Russian roulette if the stock's going to go up 60% like Snapchat, or if it's going to, drop a lot, just short it after. Play it after. And that's what's helping to keep all these stocks down. But PayPal is not, it's definitely not dead money. That's completely wrong. Evergreens is back. He is. We love him. He almost a heart attack at 54. Handle it sitting and watching the numbers is crazy. Oh, yeah. Something like that is wild. 600%. What? That doesn't happen all the time. That's a pretty rare occurrence. How do you know if we don't have other plays? You guys probably do. Hopefully, it's been pretty tough if you haven't had anything else working. Short sellers got raided by the FBI today. Yeah, is there oh, I posted link. You posted a link. It's been all over the internet and I missed it. Ruh-roh. I don't see it. Smash the like button, even if Tyler isn't Robinhood. Yeah, definitely. Once the volatility stops, I do want to transfer my whole portfolio. But I looked into it, and Robinhood, you have to pay off margin, and I could, but I would also have to sell stocks that I really like that are up a lot, and I would have to pay taxes on them, or I would have to sell stocks I'm down a lot on. Like I'm down like 50% on a firm. No way in hell I'm selling that. In Robinhood, I got like 200 shares of AMC. Definitely not selling that either. My average cost is like $37. No way in hell. Might actually have more than that. DraftKings average cost of like 37. Not selling that. Square I'm actually up a little bit on. PayPal I'm down like 40%. Not selling that. Lucid I'm in at $21. So if I go negative on that, just that'll get interesting. But so I do plan to once volatility kind of goes away and once these stocks go up a little bit, but definitely not a fan of selling for those kind of losses. I haven't sold anything. I'm not the panic guy that's gonna freak out but I cannot. I'm probably not. I'm not searching that hard for it, but we're thinking Big Green Day, and then not just put us at max pain 1950. Well, if you've been watching for a while, then I like to try to call these mega bounce situations, right? And basically what that is it comes down to the options a lot, but we also have a very, very good technical setup here. The fact that we came down, hit 1850, right back up, almost up, testing those higher levels, and considering the options, and it seems like the lack of manipulation that has been happening recently, ever since like a week before that probe came out, you've kind of seen AMC be able to move around and do its own thing. So when you mix all of that together, if I were to red or black at the casino, right, I'm gonna or green or red, I'm definitely gonna go with green here. And the options, you see 29,000 calls that are in the money, 262,000 calls that are out of the money. And if we take a look at the option chain, what's even more important than that is the price of the options and obviously days to expiration, which if a contract is on the same day of expiration, that means if the price of the stock goes up, and due to the lack of manipulation that we are seeing because of this probe, I mean, you're seeing AMC up 3% today at one point, and the markets were down almost 2%. So you're seeing AMC being able to do its own thing, and I don't think you're going to see as much pinning as we're used to seeing. But even these contracts at the $19 strike is $42. So that break even is $19.42. And for the $20 contracts, $16 break even is $20.16. So if you start to see that move to the upside, if we do what we did today, tomorrow, the market makers will have to hedge out all of these $20 contracts. Didn't we go above 2016 today? Hold on, let me make sure before I go running my mouth. Yeah, we were at 2021. So the market makers tomorrow, if that happens, will have to hedge out all of those contracts because they'll be in the money, right? So when that happens, you see an incredible amount of buying power that happens all at once because these market makers, they're not going to risk the stock going to $23 per share and losing out. They're not going to do that. That's a massive, massive loss. And you can certainly see that with AMC. So they hedge out these positions as soon as you get close to that break even, usually under that, so they still make money. And if you see that on a rapid scale, like if you start to see the 19s run into the money, 1950s, and then you hit the 22,500 for open interest. That's 2.25 million shares that would have to be bought instantaneously. 8,800 at the 1950, 6,000 at the 19, 2050, 5,500, 12,500 at the 21. All in all, say 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, add those together. That's roughly 6.5, 7 million shares that would have to be bought by the market makers if the stock even went to $23. And relative to the volume that we see on any given day, which is very low, like today, 40 million shares that traded hands. If you've seen 7 million shares that had to be bought by the market makers in one day, regardless of normal people buying the stock or selling, that's going to cause a big move to the upside. Certainly. It's being manipulated just as much as it always has. Nothing has changed. They're just manipulating it for a markup. Now they're in total control. It's just uptime. Yeah. I mean, I kind of think they do. I mean, they manipulate things across the broad markets. But AMC was always different because it had so much manipulation. I just think now it's more so manipulated as much as other things are. Like look at the earnings reports. I mean, they provide liquidity. So, the market makers, the big three, Citadel, Goldman Sachs, and Virtue, if there's anything that's not as great as people expected, or even if the earnings are great, like Nvidia, They could just flood the markets with selling power, panic everybody, and or short the stock, panic everybody, and then boom, send the stock straight down. So those things are always, definitely happening. But I think more or less you're not seeing as much, like when you buy a stock, you're buying stock from the dark pools. When you sell stock, it's going to the lit exchanges. When institutional investors sell stock, it's going to the lit exchanges. I think that's what happened for a very long time. So every time we bought, it went straight to the dark pools, and then they would short stock onto the open markets. Not all of it, obviously, because some buys have to go to the markets, but you can control a stock by doing that. Like down to the penny if you wanted to. Once it gets to a certain price, just let out all the sells from the dark pool, right? So I think that doesn't happen as much now because of that probe. They're probing the liquidity providers, the only three there is that have the power to really do that on a massive scale. Then I think that's a big headwind that is gone. I could be wrong. We could go back to being manipulated like that. But right now, the chart, the price action reflects more of what you would expect from us buying the stock every day. And the institutional order flows as well kind of tell the story too. Volume could trigger a small gamma squeeze. Yeah, and that's only just the market makers buying stock if the stock goes to $23. Not to mention, and like what we currently have, not even to mention the people that would likely buy the calls expiring tomorrow, the dailies, and that could also add fuel to the fire. People just buying the stock too. That's solely what we have right now up until $23, and it's impressive if I do say so myself. The only thing we don't have really working for us as much is on the put side. Only 46,000 puts that are in the money. Usually when a mega bounce is clearer to see, you'll see a lot of puts that are in the money and this level of calls, like virtually nothing, like 10 times the amount of calls that are out of the money or that are in the money compared to out of the money. You're not really seeing that on the put side, only 46,000, and then out of the money puts 111,000. But let's go look. The put. Yeah, so at the $19 puts, 22,000 for open interest, or 5,500, and then 4,700 at the 1950. $20 puts, 8,900, 1,000, 1,200, 500, 3,200. So you'd see a couple million shares that would have to be de-hedged for if the stock went to about $23. So all in all, added up rough numbers here, give or take about 10 million shares that would have to be bought by the market makers if the stock continued all the way to $23. That's 25% of the volume comparatively to what we've seen today. And like I said, not to mention anybody else that would just buy the stock. And there's also a phenomenon, right? I'm not sure the exact name. I'm sure there is a name for it. But when you're seeing stocks like, ISPO or whatever the ticker is for that, or AMGH, that go crazy, people are like, ooh, that's the next one. That's the next one. That's the next one. So AMC could get a bit of that effect as well in the short term. But really anything over 20, and that'll be a solid sign. Because we kind of have three touches right here. This day was a little bit more explosive. Like, look at that intraday high. $20.96, and then we closed down here at roughly 1787. Big high, straight back down, but still remained above that 1780 level. Now we're staying above 1850, which is good, but yeah, FOMO could be a good word for it. Yeah, thank you. 23.54. Yeah, and I'm thinking as high as 25, 23 is really, I think, the sweet spot between obviously 20 and 25 that is reasonable. Tell us when we, yeah, psychic. Tell us when we mow ass. Yeah, that would be. What if they all told us like the same thing? That would be cool. Uh, but if we don't gap up tomorrow morning, which I'm sure we will, I might go a little degenerate on the daily $20 calls if they stay around this price. But don't do that. Please, nobody do that. Not a recommendation. When I say degenerate, I'm talking about like $30 on it. Like a scratch off lottery ticket, not a Carlo over here. Put 8 grand on the dailies. You're either gonna lose 8 grand or you're gonna make 100. Yeah, never do that. Hit the like button for free 99 golden nuggets. Yeah, don't short the like button. You can pretty much short anything else and make money, but I don't think shorting the like button is gonna make you anything. Hope you're right. All right, tomorrow close. Yeah, I, I mean, I think it's going to work out like that. It the data is definitely here to support it. If you know, nothing crazy happens overnight. Obviously, that's going to be the biggest wrench in the whole thing. But um, also the puts, they could be higher in the money, but I don't really think you need that right now given the price action that we've been seeing. Something is going on behind the scenes that dramatically has changed. Like, what was it? I don't know if you guys remember the day, but where everybody bought stock, and I bought my shares. I think I bought 20 that day and put it on there. I bought it on public and all that. And we seen a little bit of a boost, and then it was like straight back down. I think that would have a much bigger impact now this time around. But yeah, what was that ticker you said? SPPI. It looks familiar. Spectrum Pharmaceuticals. Some of these are worth just buying like 100 shares and waiting to see what happens. That's gnarly. What the hell happened? 60%? Oh, man. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't even look like, obviously they had reverse splits back here, but this doesn't even look like a reverse split. All of that. Like $75. If you could buy, that's probably, I mean, just because you said that, I like to think when things like that happen, it's sometimes like a good omen, like a heads up or something. To throw $100 or buy 100 shares for $75 sometimes makes a lot of sense on these cheap stocks, and just sitting on it. Have no expectations for it. Think of it like a long-term lottery ticket. You might win big, you might lose $75. I actually did that on Microvision and bought shares. I think I bought 400 shares at 28 cents a piece, and that stock went up to $28, I believe at the high. And that was like $100 and 10,000. Crazy. So you could do a lot of work with just 100 shares. Keep it simple. Have no expectations for it. That's the best way to think about it. But I have no idea what's actually going on with the company though. Yeah, when was the stock? Yeah, the stock used to trade at just stupid lows. I must have bought it somewhere in here in 2020, April-ish. And that thing did wonders. Yeah, literally peaked out at 28. $100 into 10,000. What? What is up, White? Pending FDA approval, apparently. Yeah, that's one of those. It looks like it can move too. I will probably just do that, just because I like to, like I said, the good omen aspect of it, because you never know. And when a stock's down that much after being at 26, like, is this chart even real? What is that? Like, looking at this chart, it looks like the company is about to go out of business. If it's not, I mean, even if it is at these prices, why not? But, you know, that's crazy. $26. So if you spent yeah, if you bought $100 of, well, 100 shares of this, you could 33x your money if it went back to 25. Even if it did half, you'd 15x your money. So you do 75 times 15. That's still $11,000 if it went back to half the price, which it's not guaranteed to, but risk to reward makes a lot of sense. What is a good gap up in your opinion tomorrow? 1975. Probably. Yeah, probably around that. What was the exact price? If like 5% would be like a good starting gap up. Yeah. I mean, if you see the stock at 5% and you're seeing that volume coming in, odds are it's going up at least 10%. You know, by the end of the day, it seems to work like that. If Russia just keeps playing their games, that's where it, you know, could differ. I mean, we could get the announcement that they're, you know, launching missiles at each other, and the markets don't hesitate. The markets to be positive and go straight negative, like we've seen back here. Like, this kind of volatility is still on the table from 440 to 420 and straight back up. Like, what is even happening? Or no, I think we were gapped down to 420 and then went straight back up. And then just look at these ranges back and forth. Like the lows of 429 to 441 in a day. Ridiculous. And then the ranges kind of stopped and the volatility went away. I mean, we just seen a straight sell-off today, but these ranges could come back. I actually have those butterflies that are actually starting to put in some work. Now, if the markets come back down to 430 in that range by March 14th, or if they go down to 420 and close around that by April, those will pay out big. So that's kind of what I'm holding as far as downside protection. I do have a UVXY that was up like 40 some percent. So I don't know if I'll wake up and that's negative, but I'll probably just hold that. Expecting a big green day tomorrow. Oh, yeah. As long as nothing crazy comes out. It just looks so good. On a technical basis, the options, there's so many that are out of the money and they're close to the money. And even like the price action today, we would have seen a lot of options run in the money if and have to be hedged for if today was Friday. You know, we went all the way up to $20.21, and that's when the markets were down still like 1%. I believe the markets were down 1% like all day. and AMC showed a lot of strength. As well as that, into the close today, the SPY just sold it off. Just we couldn't hold anything for like the last, like literally slice this down the middle, and you were good, and then just not good. A slow bleed out. And then that end of the day flush, slight bounce. But AMC was the opposite. If we take some of this stuff away, gets a little messy with the Bollinger Bands. But yeah, pretty much the same thing. The sell-off did start a little bit earlier for AMC, but you've seen a very, very strong close today. Very strong. Like if you look at that, just straight up right here, whereas the SPY did the exact opposite. Seen a little choppy back here, but just hit straight lows at the end of the day, and hit a low in after hours too. Whereas AMC did not follow along. AMC actually continued to go higher in after hours, which is completely different than what we've seen. All right, March 2nd after earnings come out. Your thoughts? Oh, yeah. SoFi. I love SoFi. SoFi is a great business. They spend a lot of money on advertisement, but they do have a really good return on invested capital as far as advertisement. The bank charter does help a lot too. But I mean, SoFi is not going to be profitable for a while, so it's going to be one of those things where you'll probably feel pain for a while, and then Wall Street will see a light bulb go off one day, and the sentiment will flip. But it could be a while until then. So that's one I just want to accumulate over time. And it reminds me a lot of Square in 2018. Like, people underestimate what companies can grow into. Like, even AMC having these initiatives with crypto and doing different events at theaters. Like, AMC in 20 years might not be a theater company off the first thought of your brain, right? You think of AMC now, you think of a theater company. In 20 years, you might think something totally different when you hear AMC. And obviously, I mean, 20 years is not going to take that long for what we're trying to accomplish here. But, or even a couple of years, right? You can totally change your business model. Like Nintendo, they're the king of that. They sold vacuum cleaners. Nintendo sold everything in the world. Playing cards, vacuums, and then finally went into more of what you know today. Probably one of the best turnaround stories there is. So if Nintendo can do it, AMC or anybody else can do it. But yeah, SoFi after earnings, it's one of those things where there's not a lot going for them as far as forward-looking guidance, right? When interest rates go up, that's why SoFi got beat down so hard, was Fed Bullard's comments about raising rates so fast. When you raise rates that fast, one of the biggest concerns is, for all of the right reasons, is lending going to stop? Are people going to stop taking out home loans and car loans? I know me personally, I'm not going to be as inclined to go out and get as many loans as possible if interest rates on a house are now 4 or 5% when they used to be 2% just a year ago. Still historically low, but it slows down that demand. And something like SoFi, they make their money off of volume and cross-selling. So, if people are not really in the business of, oh, I'm going to buy a house, and then I'm going to buy a car, and then I'm going to start investing through SoFi, and then I'm going to, refinance my student loans. Probably refinancing student loans would be like the first thing they do. But if they're not really doing that, SoFi could take a small hit. But I think the Super Bowl numbers are going to be really good, and I think they're going to post that they acquired a lot more customers. Last time I checked, they were at about 3 million customers, and that's going to be important. As well as that, they made so many good acquisitions over the past 2 years. Like Galileo is what controls, I believe, Cash App cards. I know for sure Robinhood cards. It's a payment processing company. When they acquired Galileo, there was only 30 million active accounts. Now it's at like 90 or 100 million. Last time I checked, probably 12 months ago, they put out the press release on that. Last time I seen it, but things like that where they're growing at 150% year over year, that's going to be an important factor. I think the investment platform is going to be another key area, but really what guidance is, that's the kicker here. And the way the markets are, you could honestly wait until after SoFi earnings to trade it if you're looking at like options. Maybe put on a small position before. I would want to go long on it, but I mean, could the thing go to 8? Sure. Could it go back to 20 if the outlook is really good? Yeah. I mean, either way might be good. But if earnings are bad, you could really play it after, and same thing to the positive side. Like stocks with good earnings tend to do decent or outperform a little bit. Bad earnings, it's terrible. But I do own, a lot of decent amount of SoFi. AMC will be an EV leader in 20 years. Yeah, just AMC and their presser, they just need to say in talks for development of an EV vehicle. And the stock will mow ass. That's it. That's all it needs is that sentence. That's it. A lot of concerts and Rams games here in LA. It's packed every weekend. Yeah, and the SoFi Stadium is 30 million for 20 years. That was the lease that they signed. So they're going to have that thing for a long time. And one would argue that just having the Super Bowl played this year alone and the amount of attention that gave SoFi, you could argue that pays for the stadium for the next 20 years. I'm sure they didn't expect the Super Bowl to be played at their stadium. I believe the first or second year they got it. But SoFi search terms went crazy. I don't know what they're at right now, but the day of the Super Bowl, SoFi, the word SoFi, was at all-time highs. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that attention. Everybody knows about SoFi now. Or they've heard about it. It went from, 27, 21 straight to 100. So that must have driven new customers, stuff like that. Just jumped in. How are futures looking? Let's take a look. It's been a second. Yeah, NASDAQ everything's tearing. NASDAQ up 0.88%, S&P up 0.70%, and the Dow up 0.56%. Which you're seeing that more normal correlation, bond yields going down, and that, makes more sense. Typo AMC, GME, Fund, DWAC are 90% of my portfolio. Looking to adding Bengals as big as position. Hey, you're like, go big or go home. I mean, once that rotation goes into those stocks, it'll be really good. Which, I mean, they've been doing a lot better recently. I don't know about Fun. I haven't looked at that one in a while. But I traded it a while back and made some money. DWAC is a whole different beast. That thing is ridiculous. The options are nuts. Are crazy. I tried to actually get filled, and I shouldn't have been as greedy because I mean, usually when I trade DWAC, I usually can get a really good quick flip on them. Like they'll go crazy really fast. But yeah, I was being a little too greedy on it today. This drop, I had got the news like right here, and the contracts were not moving at first. And I think I was trying to buy next week's $77 puts for like $60. And I was being greedy. I don't know why I was being so greedy. Just didn't pull the trigger, and I think they went to like 200 at the peak. After that, phew. Tell you, hit the like button. Oh yeah, listen to Eric. Don't short the like button. What is SoFi volume? SoFi actually too is you know how I like to bring you guys the option flow sentiment from institutional investors. Like AMC was 50% positive. Yesterday was 50. Well, I hate how they do that, but it was 50% positive today. Over the last week, 66% positive, right? 161 orders on AMC for $73.24 million. We've not seen a positive order flow week in the last 3 months that I've been tracking this. So you've seen a dramatic change, right? But same thing with SoFi, same thing with a lot of other more retail stocks. Like there was something that fundamentally changed in the past 2 weeks within more so the mechanics of the markets. Like you haven't seen anything too crazy. These stocks have been selling off, yet you're still seeing bullish order flow sentiments for the day. So something changed, and I think it's simply that probe into what they've been doing. And I think that shows and proves the level of manipulation that we've been seeing for the past year. Says, what does that mean? Futures? Futures are like the futures contracts. Like if you look at Yahoo Finance, you'll see there's actually dates for them. Hold on. Where is it? Am I tripping? Yeah, it'll be like for the March futures, March 22nd. I think I'm tripping, or it just isn't showing it right now. I mean, like you can trade them and all that. I'm not a fan of it. They are a little bit higher though on the S&P. That's interesting. But yeah, I don't know why it's coming up right now. Essentially, like in like a further dated contract, really. Like you can see all of these, they have the dates. I don't know why it doesn't right now for S&P or Dow. Not exactly sure. I don't follow the actual like contracts and how they trade, and I don't like to trade futures, but some people do. Like Forex, I've never really been a fan of that either, but some people are. But like SoFi, we'll look at the volume in 1 second. But 6 orders totaling $2.08 million, positive order value of 50%, the same thing as AMC. And then over the past week, 85% positive order value, 49 orders totaling $18.54 million. So a little bit different ballparks there. A lot tighter range on SoFi as well than AMC, but AMC has a lot more attention than SoFi, that's for sure. Shorts, pretty much the same. 19.19% short interest after flow. Cost to borrow 1.47, lower than AMC. Utilization of 95.93%. Days to cover 2.88. Like most of the data points look pretty much the same, but SoFi is not really a short squeeze, a huge short squeeze candidate in my opinion. The float's pretty large. I think SoFi has more shares outstanding than AMC, if I believe correctly. I believe. believe they have like $1 billion or something. Target price $19. Return potential 56%. Yeah, SoFi is undervalued, that's for sure. But yeah, I think they have. Hold on. I gotta see this now. They trade like they have really small. It has a really small float, but SoFi's volume has been a lot higher though. Like you can see these lines way higher recently than it's ever been, but yeah, you'll see like 30, 50, 70s and that's in millions. That big day you've seen 268 million and the stock went up almost 10%. That was January 20th. That was the bank charter day actually. But it can't hold any moves to the upside. You've seen that wick. It hit this 50-day moving average, came straight back down. And it's really struggling around the 20-day moving average too. Really, really struggling. I watch this one quite frequently and just so much resistance there. It's getting down to the cusp. Like you're either going to see that move down or you're going to see that move up. But yeah, volume's been pretty good. I do want to look at the upgrades and downgrades real quick, though. Yeah, nothing. Besides, yeah, everything's good. Morgan Stanley to overweight, January 14th. Goldman Sachs to neutral. Weedbush to perform. That was also January 19th. January 19th, Rosenblatt to buy. Oppenheimer to outperform, February 9th. B of A Securities initiated coverage, and that was a buy. So a lot of firms that are starting to cover it, 1, 2, 3 initiates, and they're all buys or outperforms. It's been a long time since the last round of June. Tomorrow is our day. Yeah, I agree. Or check out Ortex on CNN. My apologies. I seen that earlier. I seen you say that earlier. And I meant to, but your guy gets a little carried away. He likes I like talking about this stuff. Well, geez, is there not options on it? Yeah, there's no options, huh? 2.28% short interest. Which, I mean, take that for what it is. That's super low short interest, but what happened? Oh my gosh. Yeah, trust zero analysts for sure. I seen you, you're in the cult, bro. I seen you today. I seen you, Shane Miller. That's why I stopped shooting. Hey, there's too much resistance on the downside. People seem to think AMC is a distraction for GME. Yeah, they're kind of like 1-1, but they do kind of steal the shine from each other a lot. Commodity futures are great to trade, and options on those too. Yeah, I would like to try it out more, but just never have really. Why do you care about upgrades or downgrades just because of sentiment? I don't really care. It doesn't really affect my investment decision at all, really. It's good to see, but analysts change their minds on a monthly basis a lot of the time. So in that regard, I don't care about it. But the markets do. Like a stock can, if AMC theoretically got an upgrade to something really good like a buy right now, the stock would probably go up 5 to 10% just off of that. So the markets care about it. I really don't. He says, yes, sir. Me and Josh are tight. Yeah, I've been around there for a long time too. Since, 2019. I missed the TLT, but that's all right. Just hop down. What's the options for possibly in the money tomorrow? I mean, I think we could go as high as 23, honestly. We're setting up and look really good. And you're going to see that instant hedging, where the contracts are so cheap that once you do start to see those moves, you're going to see instant hedging. Like if we go to $20 like we were today and you bought a $20 call at the end of the day today, your break even would be $20.16. We were at that today. So, if that happens tomorrow, you're going to see those market makers that instantly have to go in there and buy this stock. Brandy, we missed you, Brandy. What's going on? David needs a Bud Light. Favorite channel, no disrespect to you. Oh yeah, that's my favorite channel too. Don't worry. No disrespect is taken. But it's the Creative Investor. You probably see my name in there, but you probably didn't notice. I'm always in there bullshitting. Yeah, but I'm in there under this name. I was actually going to tag you and say what's up, but I think I was in a trade or something. Evergreens cannot get a break. Message deleted. Oh, man. Oh, how about in the money? Not as much as just right out of the money. Like 22,000 at the $20 strike, but for the $18 call that's in the money, 5,800 for open interest, 2,600 at the 1850, 4,000 at the 17. So nothing that's too crazy, but you also do see on the put side that's in the money too, 5,500 at the 19. 1950, 4,700, 8,900 at the 20. So as well as that, if you do start to go up, you'll also see the market makers that have to de-hedge for the put side. And we know, to hedge and de-hedge puts, the market makers have to short stock, right? To account for that. And when the contracts go from in the money to out of the money, they have to buy stock. That's their job, to make sure that you can always, buy options. So I think it'll be really good, but just got a fresh one. UNBBIG. No, I'm really not a fan of really anything besides AMC right now. Could be good, but anything without like a solid business model behind it, or even a solid business, fuck a business model. The markets don't even care about that. You could be the next $1 trillion stock. People would know you would be in the next 5 years, but they would still sell off the stock. Like, you could have a clear path to being the next Amazon that's realistic, and the markets would not care. They're so worried about cash and selling the rips, not buying dips. That's the new motto. Dog, she was typing. Oh, man. Hey, man, holler at me. I have it up on my 2 screens at work. I work at West Star Aviation in East Elton, Illinois. All private and corporate jets. We fix anything and everything in them. Oh, no way. That's a great job. He said, I trade all day. Wow. Yeah, that does sound like the... like pretty much a dream job. Shit, you can trade and work. He said, I got 2 screens. What do you think about Teslas? The good buy tomorrow at around 875. Let's go lower. Elon is crying about the SEC probe. I mean, I think it's good for the long term. If, we go into a recession or anything like that, one of the first things to go is buying that new car. So depending on what your outlook is, I mean, anything for like a quick trade right now, I'm not really a huge fan of it. The way that I look at it, if I'm going to make a trade on a stock and buy stock in or shares in a company, for a quick trade, if I go into it like I want to get a quick trade, I want to get 10 or 20%, I want to buy 20 shares of Tesla, whatever the number is. If I get 20% and I can sell out, what would it be, 16 and keep 4 for free, that's what I would probably do, or just sell out and take your money. But I want to make sure, worst case scenario, if the stock drops 10% the next day, I'm not forced to sell it at a loss because the company is dog shit, right? So I would know with Tesla that I would be okay holding it. Eventually, it'll work out for me. But that's the way that I would really look at things right now. Especially, on the option side, that's way different. But for shares, I mean, good for the long term for sure. But worst case scenario, if it goes down 5 or 10%, you can just hold it, Not financial advice. I mean, I don't know what this probe's about. I mean, they've had a lot of stuff come out recently. I do want to fly. I've got multiple videos of me flying jets and other planes. Cool gig, man. Oh, no way. Please say I understand that was her saying this shit too, my guy. No, I don't know about that. I think that was you. Oh, I'm just fucking with you. That's funny. No, that is really cool, Shane. I actually I want to get my pilot's license. I just think that would, always something cool to have and cool to do, especially I mean when you invest too, eventually you're going to do well for yourself, and I would rather, I don't know, I feel more comfortable the one being in control, I guess, especially when it comes to like a plane or something like that. So if I could just fly myself, that'd be awesome. That is cool though. And you can trade all day. That's you can't beat that. Honestly. Yeah, it looks real nice. NASDAQ up almost 1%. S&P 0.74%. Yeah, that on that note, Shane, those butterflies are starting to hit. I did the March 14th and the April 14th. I think I did go with one that he did, but the March 14th ones are definitely starting to look pretty good. If the SPY closes around 4:30 by March 14th, those will pay out big. If it don't, she left. Great news. Citadel was named the DOJ probe. Go on terrible Twitter page. It's a clip of it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying too. It's the liquidity providers. Like they didn't have to say in that probe that it was Citadel, which as soon as that came out, I think the title was Citadel, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs are under official investigation or something along those lines. Because, you could tell me liquidity providers, and there is 3 main market makers. Citadel is number 1, Goldman Sachs is second, and third is Virtue. Terrible. But if they actually did name it, name them, that's interesting. See? See? Now I got to make another video on it. Now I got to make a video on it. Josh is pretty keen. Yeah, I would like to chill with him. Is there a part you could spend roughly 3 to 4K and get on the low? Almost pulled the trigger on it, but haven't. Work in the shipping department. Have Josh up on one. Really? What? So you actually know him in person? Terrible. She blocked me because I questioned her. Oh, dang. But that's exactly my point, though, right? So if they're really under investigation like that, I mean, they're not going to be manipulating the stock in the same way. And I think that shows, some of the things that have been said. Obviously, some things people have said have been far-fetched. But, I think it proves a lot of what was said. Just with the price action, with the DOJ probe. Like I said, like the last week before that probe actually officially was pretty much leaked. Because that's what it was. It wasn't like an official announcement. It was somebody leaked it to Wall Street Journal, and they made the story about it. That week before, you were seeing AMC moving a lot different. It wasn't really being pinned to certain prices. It was kind of doing its own thing. We're calling it right here. Financial advice. Take it. Oh, man. Not exactly, but see that? Yeah, check Oscar. Oscar got 30 racks. Yeah, insane. Wholesaling, man. Yeah, can be really nice. See, I'm a I have my real estate license in Michigan, and Josh wanted to look into an Airbnb in Frankenmuth, Michigan. It's like the largest Christmas town in America and all that, but they have strict laws on it. But it's like, damn it. I think they only allow like 15 in the town. It's so stupid. And there's 15. They don't care because they own the government. They're too big to fail. What are they gonna do to Citadel? That would be like, I mean, you can't really do anything. Even from as far back as 1987, when you seen Black Tuesday, right? Or Black Monday, Black Tuesday, whatever it was. What killed everything was, the market makers even ran out of money, but there was one guy that stepped in and started to buy things on the Chicago trading floors that basically saved the day. But the Federal Reserve stepped in too and saved the day as well. But what happened with those squeezers today? Oh my gosh, 600%. Oh. That was nasty. DWAC. I missed out on a really good trade on that one today too. I was being greedy. What was it? ANGH. That one moved 161%. What was the other one? ISPO. Like, what the hell? Like, that's rare. 650% on a stock? What? and low volume too. It's like the low volume stocks are like, I don't even know what to call this. Is this like manipulation or what is that? Is there kind of options because I have my cash account? Cost options is made to believe that you have to have at least 100 in an account to do options because I am on a cash account. I don't believe so. I've never heard of like a minimum. Maybe depending on your brokerage, if you go in and sign up and like get approved. Some brokerages, they make it a little bit more difficult to you like answer those questions, and then you should get the ability to trade options. But oh, that looks like Squid Coin 2.0. Oh no. Yeah, if you guys have not seen this after the live stream, go look up Squid Coin rug pull. Is just terrible. It's live. Actually, we will. I don't even care if I get like demonetized. What are you gonna do to me, YouTube? I make like $2 off these live streams.
Amount of coins that are locked, staked, whatever the fuck's going on, that would be the fully. But obviously the real one is not. So the market cap is $2.168 trillion. And now the market, oh! Oh! It went to zero! Yo! And damn! There we go! Squid Games! Sayonara, motherfucker! Oh, good lord!
Oh no. It does look pretty similar. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's just terrible. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to Shane. I'll see you on the stream. All you guys, appreciate you guys. Even evergreens, we love you too. We love you, even though you got timed out a couple times. But you always come. You always show up. You always show up. So yeah, be careful with these stocks too. Let me tell you guys, be very careful. Be very, very careful. This could be like a Squid Coin. It could go straight back down to $10 or $20. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys for joining. If you guys are not signed up with Webull, Moomoo, or Public, links in the description. Get yourself some free money. Free 99. And if you guys want to join the trading community, linked in the description as well. Besides that, you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow.